I just ranted for a full hour and we're gonna do it again. Cause I have a whole another hour to school, or so I have to start getting dressed and all that. And I don't care enough to go to sleep for an extra hour or two and, be rested and all that. I mean, I could actually, low key, y'all. Ooh, y'all, you know how good that sleep would be? I don't know if y'all ever did this, but that cram sleep, like, you got like to wake up in like an hour or two. When you know you gotta wake up soon, you sleep so much better. Like, set an alarm that you can sleep through, bro. You will be dreaming. Like, if you have like the alarm to like a song, you will literally dream about that song, but better if it's a good song or even a decent one. I had a dream about this song, right? And it's like, this song doesn't exist. These features don't exist. Chance the Rapper, Lil Wayne, Kanye West, and hold up, Chance the Rapper, and Big Sean. That's it. Yeah. And the song was amazing. I thought of the lyrics myself, y'all, in my dream because the beat was playing at the end, and I just had that beat in a loop while I'm asleep. And I wake up, I'm like, oh my god, what's the song called? I look up the lyric, it doesn't exist. I look up the people on it, it doesn't exist. And I'm like, hold up, bruh, I'm gonna make some heat. And I'm like, the beat doesn't exist either. I can't find that beat either. And then it's like, then by the time I get home, I'm like, oh, this could be the beat. And I just forgot the lyrics. I'm like, whatever. I could have just made some heat, bro. Got like one of my friends to do a Lil Wayne impression. I don't know if any of them can. Clinical probably could. But like, it's super annoying because like, dude, I was late to school that day. Or I think I skipped because my dad's just like, man, whatever, bro. I ain't taking you to school. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't anyways. That's my fault completely. I didn't wake up. You tried to wake me up. My alarm tried to wake me up. Feel me? It's, hey. But yeah, that cram sleep be good, bro. Whenever, like, if y'all got the chance to ever, just do it. Most people, whenever they have something to do, they go to sleep the night before. But I be staying up. I mean, like, oh, that reminds me, y'all. One time, I had a English project thing. It was like 110 points. I did it the day it was due. It was like due at like 12 a.m. that night. So I did it from like 11:30 to 11:50. I didn't read the book. I don't think like the teacher definitely didn't read the book either. So I just BS'd a lot. And if she did, like she was like, "I'm gonna read the books," and I was dead. Even if I wasn't, I think she would have gave me an A because I'm great at lying on like writings and stuff. If I don't like want to do the work, I will like instead of reading this book over the 9 week period I had to do it, I read the about the offer page and flipped to the end, not the very end, near the end, so I could read 2 or 3 character names that last. Very beginning, read one of the characters that possibly die or just weren't on the last page. You had to go over 3 characters. I erased one of the 3 from that one page. And then I was like, all right, that's good enough. It was a Tom Clancy Rainbow Six book, by the way. And I was just like, okay, that's good enough, right? It was like, what songs relate to this? Okay, I played the game. It's about guns, murder on my mind, YNW Melly. Um, the ending, it's an ending, End of the Road by Juice Road. Uh, um, um, uh, 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 like I have nothing to do, and I put like I think like a Comethazine song maybe, Lil Wayne. Mm, I don't know, some random stuff though, and it was like put 4 pictures that it was like related to, and I was like I saw the word president somewhere in there. They could have been saying the president of the Rainbow Six. I don't care. So I put a picture of Trump and Lil Wayne. The cover had a boat on it, so I put a boat, and I put a picture of the American flag, and then like a Chinese flag, or a picture of the Chinese flag. I don't know why I said a Chinese flag. There's 2 Japan flags though, right? Or 2 Japanese flags, because they changed in like the 80s or something like that, right? Just a different shade of white and red, I'm pretty sure though. Nothing huge, I think. I mean, there's 2 American flags also. There might be a few Chinese flags. I don't know. My bad. I don't know why I went on that rant. And like I was like, yeah, it's because it was this hypothetical American Chinese war over boats. So to get that makes sense. Next, oh, what are the characters' love interests and friends and their job? And I'm like, huh? You only had to put one character, and I was just like, man, screw this. And I just like put some random stuff. And the first page, you could see that the character, I think it was like Jack Ryan, he had a wife. I put the wife's name. Like, I didn't have a love interest. You didn't have to fill that out, so I could have just said that. But the teacher would have read the first page. They would have seen that, or she would have seen that. So I was like, whatever. It's not hard to do. I already read the first page, anyways. What's app would they use? What do these apps mean? Whatever, stupid. Trying to be relatable to the kids. That teacher said clinical looked like a school shooter. That's so mean though. Like actually, especially being that you're a teacher, bro. But then she taught me how to kidnap kids. That was really weird, bro. Sure, me. I mean, when Mike was like, "What are the best kids to steal?" I'm like, I don't know. And like I made a little joke. I was like, oh, probably the bad one. And she was like, oh yeah, sure. But you're definitely gonna want a bad good one. And like one I would say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir to you. I'm like, huh? Like what? You shouldn't be going along with that joke. And then she's like, yeah, you're gonna want one that would go nicely into your little van. I'm like, dog. I made a joke to get out of an uncomfortable situation. You just made it more uncomfortable. I just muted my mic. I didn't even finish that conversation, dog. I was not prepared for that questioning at all. But back when that, like, she gave me an A for that. Then the second one, I did like the same thing. I used the same End of the Road Juice World song. I got a C on it. I mean, it was basically the same thing, different book. Another Tom Clancy book too. Um, man, I said screw it, dog. I put a wig on because you made me put a video of like myself describing the book. Screw that. I put a wig on, put like my hoodie on, face mask. You're not gonna be seeing all of me. You don't gotta see nothing of me. Actually, no. Trying to make me show my face for a video. You needed eye contact with the camera, so I was just staring deep into the camera. It was like market this book, say what it's about, but don't spoil it. I was like, oh, don't spoil it. I got you. I read the synopsis, like like at the back of the book, to like tell you what it's about, like right behind the book. If it has like a little ribbon thing. So I was reading that while like moving the book around and like putting it down and showing other books by the author, stuff like that. And when I pick it back up, I read the synopsis. I'm like, yeah, and she gave me an A for that. I did not think I'd be able to pull that off because I had to like show eye contact. She literally could have read, like, she could have looked up description of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I was BSing, but she didn't, luckily. And really put minimal effort into grading those. She just, I guess, cared if you were good enough at lying. I don't know. But that teacher, I had three friends and one acquaintance. Or no, two friends and one acquaintance in that classroom. So there's a corner she couldn't move me to of people I hated and wish were dead. Low key, really annoying, homophobic, transphobic, racist people. You feel me? But she moved me I sat by one of my friends. She was like, okay, move to this. And it was like my best friend who moved to Texas. And we're like laughing in the corner. And she's like, you got work to do. And I'm like, I don't care about my work though. And she's like, okay then. Moves me to like one of the people that are in that class. No one watched the last one. No one sat there for 60 minutes to watch me rant. But if you did, the class of Anubis, she's in that class too. We laughed a few times. Boo hoo. The teacher moved me back to my other friend, back to my best friend, back to her. Just why? Even the next day, I come in and just sit by a friend, and but she's like, "Oh no, y'all ain't sitting by each other." Just sits me in the middle of the classroom. I sit there, I finish the work, and go right there. I didn't. One day, I was like, "Oh, I don't have my Chromebook." Sat near like where the computer. No, I said my Chromebook needed to be charged, and the only way you could charge it was like by people. But it was during the final, so you weren't allowed to talk. I failed that final. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I had a D in that class. I should have failed that class because I had an F two times in that class, even a D, even an A. That should not have equaled out to passing. I don't think it really like. I think if it did, it was just like a D average, which it wasn't. It was obviously a F majority, but hold up. You divide that by 4 to get the average, right? And that's 0 plus 0, which is 0, y'all. No, I'm so smart. And then 1 plus 4, 5. 5 divided by 4, that's a 1.0. I guess, yeah, okay then. 5 divided by 4, I mean, that might be a little bit above 1, but come on, it's like a 1.2, something like that. So, like, I guess I technically deserved to pass the class, but I was like on thin ice. I was like a 1 off from an F, bro. Dude, imagine that. I failed a class by a point. That would have been painful to just. Uh, mm. I got the report card. My dad is like, "Wow, you passed. How do you do that? Good job." And just walks out. Cause like it's like, how did I do that? Good job to me. Cause like, dude, I didn't deserve to pass that year. Everyone knew it already. People were like, basically saying I was failing. When I got to my last report card, my brother was like, "Yeah, you didn't pass this." Like, he was like, he sent it to like a person who taught at a different school. I was like, "Is this passing?" And the teacher's like, "Oh, if it is, that kid is going to summer school for at least one class." Or if not, they're gonna have like a D average and whatever. I had like a CB average somehow. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they like mistaked me for someone else because I still got kicked out of Great Scholars or whatever it's called. But my friends who had worse grades didn't. So I don't know what that was all about. But that was low key annoying. Me and that friend though, me and clinical single handedly bring down our state's like average by like 5 states. I'm not gonna lie. Me and clinical sometimes just be looking at like the stats for our state and just looking how bad they are. Cause like we are like live in Louisiana. It's like number 48, 49, 50, maybe even for schooling. Like we are bottom fifth. We're like in the bottom like 10 for every single subject. Murder rate, we're pretty low in there. I think we're like 50 or like 42. Pretty close to 50 though. Pretty bad for murder. Overdoses, East Baton Rouge just broke the record for most overdoses that they've ever had, and that record was just broken last year. So, same with murder rate, by the way. That record just got broken last year in the past, like it was like most murders in the past 20 some years, and that just got broken last year, and it's like, oh, again, and we still got way more months. We're already like 20 above last year, and I live in like a good spot, by the way. I live in like a great spot, in my opinion. There was a shooting at a gas station like right by me. That's not safe. Like, I mean, it's safe for me because I'm like, right by the guy. I'm not, if there was a shooting in my neighborhood, I'd be scared for my life or whatever. But it was right outside my neighborhood. I don't have a big deal with that. It's gonna happen. I live by the state fair I'm giving out like exactly where I lived on, but and there was like a shooting there. There's been multiple fights and shootings and robberies there, you know. You can't get everyone in Louisiana of all states together without a few things going down. But I mean, that's just normal for that area. Like, it's not like right by my house, but it's like I'm not gonna give my address. Oh my god. But it's not like too close, but it's like really close. It's like I don't know. It's not too close though. And um and like I mean, I expect that from there, but I don't expect that from that gas station. You know, does that make sense? Like, I expect it from a place with a lot of people, from like a little gas station I go to every once in a while. I don't expect that. Like me and my sister last week, we like walked over there and just got some food and just left. Bought it, of course. By the way, just don't. I stole the Tic Tacs, but that's not a big deal. But like it was like I didn't steal the Tic Tacs. I paid for them, but just didn't. I don't know. It was weird. But I don't think they scanned them, but I paid for them. Does that make sense? They saw I had them. I paid the money. It was you know not a big deal. But we bought like Doritos and Tic Tacs and We bought some drinks. My sister bought some Sour Patch Kids or Delta Con. I don't know. I just bought some Doritos. I still haven't ate those Doritos. I'm pretty sure if I get double XP token for this game, or for y'all can't see the game. Y'all might actually low key, because I just uploaded the first one without even putting a little screen over it. I meant to, but I just forgot and just posted it. And I don't have the will to unpost it and just put a black screen over a 60-minute rant and just boo hoo. Got one view because it's 60 minutes and no one wants to watch this. You know, I'm not expecting any views out of anything I do. I just have fun doing it. That's all that matters to me personally. But like, it's like, dog, Louisiana is not a good state. Even if like they're trying to do this thing right, the area I'm in, like I said, really safe, really no violence, really, other than two areas near me. That's not bad, really, because there's violence everywhere you go in the world, or at least in America. You know, every street you're gonna be able to say, "Oh yeah, someone got shot here." You know, at least that's how I think. So like, you're gonna be able to like say you know someone shot here. I don't know someone died here, but someone that gets shot here. Oh, my neighbor killed him. My neighbor did kill himself actually. Um, that was such a like dark turn. But yeah, he shot himself in the head. He had four dogs actually. He was super cool. He was low key one of my favorite neighbors. S tier neighbor. Like that's not just me. Like, oh my god, he's dead, so I love him. No, it's like I don't think I like loved him, but like it was like every time we were driving, he was in a wheelchair, so like he couldn't like do much. He'd like wave to us, I'd wave back. He didn't leave his house much. He didn't have a job really. He didn't have much in life, and like he was cool. He was nice. So we just, we were nice back. Like if he was mean about stuff, I would have been mean back, but he wasn't. So we would just like we never really talked, but like my dad would sometimes talk to him. He'd be like, "Oh hi kid," I'd be like, "Oh hey," and I'd talk back for a few seconds. And our house was right there. He went to like my birthday when I was like 5 or 6. So you know, when I was like 5 or 6, though, my family was like a. That was like when my family started to go like crazy. It's like I was still that same birthday. One of my other neighbors came to the door a few days later, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, I missed your birthday, but better late than never." And I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And then I thought he said better late than early. And I was like, "What do you mean better late than early?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It's better early than late." And he's like, "No, I said never." And I was like, "Oh, my bad. Thank you." And he's like, "Oh, you're welcome, kid." And like closes the door and leaves. It was like $10. That's really nice to me. But he like I mean I don't really like I'm not close to any of my neighbors anymore. Like when we see each other, obviously it's like, oh hey, I know you. Hey dude, what's up? Been a while. One of the neighbors called the cops on my sister, my little sister, by the way. And this was like 4 years ago. She's 11, 12. She just turned 12. So this is 4 years ago. She was 7 or 8, and we had a little like play thing outside, like where you can like climb out the ladder, slide down the slide, swing on the swings, and there's like monkey bars, and she would flip on the monkey bars, right? And she was like flipped over upside down, so she's just chilling, I guess, like upside down. And then the neighbor lady screams, "Stop staring at me!" And my sister wasn't staring at her; she was upside down, eyes closed, eyes open, whatever. Either way, she can't not look at you if you're looking, if you're like in your yard, which is right by us. It's like directly in front of us. So she calls and my sister like starts to get down because the lady tells her to get down and stops looking at her. My sister's like, whatever, I'll listen. And like, I guess my sister does it, it gets back on them because she's on her, yard, flipping on her monkey bars. So the lady calls the cops. White ladiest thing ever, if you ask me. And it's just like, why did you do that to a little girl, a 7, 8 year old, bro? Because she looked at you. Go inside. What if we called the cops because you were outside looking at the girl? You had to be looking at the kid if you noticed she was looking at you for that long. But it's like, whatever, dude. Live your insane life. None of our business. Until you make it, by the way. Like, she made it our business, I guess. Because she. It's crazy people out there, y'all. If anyone watches this, stay safe from crazies like that, bro. But yeah, those are like, there's only four neighbors I have stories with. My neighbor, like, right by me, I could literally tell y'all basically that dude's like life until like 2, 3 years ago we quit talking. But me and him were cool. Like, we're like cool. Like, I mean, cause I don't know if he had like something wrong with him. Like, not wrong with him. I don't want to make it sound like, you know, there's nothing ever wrong with people if anything mental. But I don't know if he had like autism or something or anything bad. Like, not bad, but anything like that. But he just didn't know about. I mean, can't blame him for that. You know. But like, and listen to some people with autism do, by the way. I don't know what it would be called, but one day, we're out, we're like shopping and stuff, on like a Saturday afternoon. We get back, this kid is swinging on our swing, waiting, and he walks up and says, "Do you all want to play?" No, 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 just no. But then, like, it's like, whatever, we're nice, we have to play with the neighbor. Pretty sure it became a meme recently, you gotta go play with the neighbor's kid or whatever. But that's completely besides the point. And like we're playing, I remember me and my sister used to have a bunk bed. She was like, "Do you want to go?" Like, he'd be like, "Want to play hide and seek?" We're like, "Yeah, sure." We would. And we're like, and he's like, "Okay, no going inside." We're like, "Okay." We'd go inside and hide on the top bunk, and my parents are like, and he goes and like, my parents know it's just like he's waiting outside. We can't do anything but play with him because if not, he'd cry and we'd get in trouble. So my parents are like, "Yeah, we're not gonna, be those kind of parents who just force our kids to do some BS." So it's like, whatever. Oh, no, like, they're hiding outside. We didn't see them come inside. He's like, "Oh, okay." He'd go search for us outside. And that was really boring. But then he'd be like, "All right, I'm going home. If you find them, tell me, you know, so we could play." It's like, he's the same age as my little sister. He got into basketball recently. Pretty sure he's doing good. If so, proud of him. Hope he does well in life. But I don't go outside enough to really have a relationship with any people, even. I'm crazy. I can't keep a happy relationship with my family. I can't be cool with my sister and my mom at the same time. I have to have beef with someone. It's some crazy stuff, y'all. But I don't know. But then hmm, see, no segues right there, y'all. But someone stole a brick from my school. Um, it became a little running joke in my friend group and stuff that someone stole a brick from the school. It was like before the DV slick thing too. It was like, I don't think it was stolen on the first day of school. It could have been missing for years. Either way, someone, I don't know who. There's like pillars in like the courtyard where like, you're supposed to like, talk to your friends after you eat lunch, or you can eat lunch out there, whatever you want to do. And it's like in the courtyard, there's like pillars made out of bricks, and someone, no joke, no joke, perfectly. So I suspect it's either someone who worked at school and thought it was funny, I worked on building the school, so it might have been there since the school started. And they just never had time to put one brick in there. Never had the money or something. But they dissected this thing and took one brick, and this brick is missing. Like no one knows where it is. I mean, I ask a lot of people, and no one has like any idea. They're like, yeah, I like no one know. Like it's like my teacher didn't know, like my science teacher I was talking about last time. She doesn't know, so it's not like it's some like a thing that the teachers are just watch out for a kid walking around with a brick because they stole it. So I don't know. Someone stole a brick, and no one cares. My school didn't really care about the hand washers getting stolen and stuff. They were like, my science teacher was like, y'all can fake TikToks in here if y'all really want to. Like, if y'all like super duper want to, just do it. That doesn't matter. Just give me the stuff back after. And everyone's like, okay, yeah. She was like, yeah, if you want to stay after, like, stay during lunch for a few minutes or whatever, just do it. Doesn't matter. And it's everyone's like, oh yeah, that's cool. We're not gonna do that though, because we're not crazy people who just like stealing. It's I don't know, but look, yeah, I don't know why I just like love that science teacher so much. Like, I used to hate her, and then like there was no reason for me to do this, but I stayed after class one day, and like I actually like talked to her instead of just hating her for like making me go to TOR for being late or detention, whatever, in school detention. I don't know what people call it in every school, but like being late for like four classes in a row, it's like mandatory that you go, or else the teacher gets in like trouble if like they write you up and like you go to class anyways, you know. And then I think it was more so that, and also I put like devil emojis at the end of like a like I wrote the right answer, and then like I put like it was like why are trees so important, and then I was like of this, and I was like paper company still chopped it down though, devil emoji, paper emoji, and then like she was like, oh, whoever wrote this will face consequences or whatever, and I was like, wow, get me in more trouble, I don't care, put me in full day detention, put me in school suspension, I don't care, feel me, and then like it's like, right, whatever you're gonna do for writing something that didn't cuss, didn't say anything wrong, just do it. I don't care. But like, and then like that day, she gets like 5 minutes of break, and like she called me up, and I was like, man, that's my only time to listen to music. But then she's like, we're talking, and like I guess she assumed I was walking away from her because I pace while I walk. I do it to my parents while they're fussing at me. I'll do it to my parents while we're having a normal conversation. I'll do it to my friends in public. If I'm standing up, if I'm like during the last thing, I don't know if you heard me just walking and breathing because I'm like running around my room while just talking to myself because like I just walk when I'm talking, It's not something I don't know. It's just some trait I picked up over time, I guess. I don't know. And like she's like, stop walking away from me while we're talking. If you want to, I'll just keep turning you late. I'm like, I didn't. I wasn't walking away from you. I paced when I talked. She's like, oh, that's cool. Learn something new about you. I'm like, yeah, I guess. And she asked me where my other class was, and I was like, dude, I actually don't know. Like, I just found out there's like numbered halls or whatever, like 100 hall, 200 hall, 300, and I was like, oh yeah, I live in 400 hall, or like, like I just found out like 2 weeks ago that my class is in 300, 400 hall, right? And it's like I'm like, she didn't know that, and like we're having a like I send her class during every lunch, and we're having I was like, yeah, I used to like not like you at all because like you count me late so much. She's like, you didn't know what class you were in before, so I couldn't even like help you. If you were in, if she was like, if you gave me any hall that wasn't like 300 hall, I would have been okay with it because like 300 hall is literally just a straight walk down, you know, 400 hall is like a straight walk down then a right, and then 200 hall is like a straight walk down then a right or then a left. So it's like, if you would have given me any other class, I would have been okay if you being a minute or two late. But it was every single day you were late, and you refused to tell me what class you were in. And you didn't know somehow. I just think that's funny that I just was messing myself up and just didn't like the teacher because of that. Because if I would have just known what, like, if I just had the knowledge of what class I'm in, she could have just been like, yeah, whatever, I don't care, sit down, dang. It got to, she wanted to like have kids like name tags out, and I'm like, man, you know my name by now, dog. It's been like a week. I'm not doing this. Hey, I gave her more patience than the English teacher. First class I had my name tag out. After that, I quit using it for that class. Because I feel like, I mean, if you don't know my name, just say kid in whatever color shirt you're wearing, or hoodie you're wearing, or whatever. Just call that out, and I'll be like, what? And it's just like, man, I'm not using name tags no more. Lorenzo. No one knows what he sounds like, I don't think, who watches these streams. But a lot of people who watch the streams would know his voice. Or know who he is, sorry. What? No one knows who he sounds like, but we all know his voice. But no, like, that's like some deep tail, like, I'm 14 and this is deep Reddit stuff, bro. But, like, anyways, it's like, you know, he was in that class and then now he's in, like, the virtual academy for whatever reason. I think it's because, like, he didn't want to get COVID. How dare he? But like the teacher wasn't like she wasn't even told that. So I was like, yeah, you know that boy who sat by me. He's like, oh yeah, I remember him. What happened to him? I'm like, oh yeah, he just didn't want COVID, so he went to like the virtual school. She's like, oh yeah, okay. And she was like, yeah, they don't let me have contact with any of the kids until they graduate. I'm like, I think that's stupid though, cause like you don't know what's going on in a kid's life to where they like need to talk to someone and they don't want to go to their counselors because they don't know the counselors enough to trust them. But that teacher that you've had to spend at least an hour with every day for an entire year, I think you'd be able to like, be homies with them. But it's whatever to me. She will. She's cool. But anyways, uh, uh, speaking of like you not being allowed to add your kids on students on social media, we found my history teacher was such a good teacher. Kids wanted his like Snapchat, his Instagram, his YouTube, his Facebook, and he's like, yeah, I'm not giving that out. We found his Snapchat, or we found his Facebook, his YouTube, his Instagram, his Twitter. Eighth grade, whenever I found his Twitter, he like if he knows who you are, he's not accepting you. But I followed him. Like, he didn't know who I was because like I'm trans and all that, so I have like a different name now. It's like it's like I'll follow him. I'm not gonna I'll like his posts and stuff. I'm not gonna like send him who I am and stuff until after I graduate. Even I followed him on Instagram after I graduated middle school because like he quit teaching at school. That school isn't good. I'm not gonna lie. All my teachers quit. The science teacher who was like the only one qualified. He just left. And our science teacher this year, I don't think she's leaving, but she's gonna go and like over the summer to another college. I'm like, why do teachers like school so much? You're already teaching all day. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be able to like. I wouldn't want to go to school while teaching people about school. That makes sense. Like, I think that's stupid because like I'm not studying. I already have a career. I mean, you might want more out of life. That makes sense. And like you still have to pay off your student loans, and also you can't just quit teaching. Whatever, never mind. It makes sense. But but just fun to think about. But I mean, like that teacher, like he has like a doctorate or whatever. Like whatever makes you like. I don't think that's what it's called, but like whatever, like you're allowed to be called a doctor, whatever. He has that. He could legally be a doctor, and he's ex-military, and he has a degree to teach. He was at school like all while he was teaching me for like 2 years. This my sixth grade year, I'm pretty sure he did school. It's like, dang, dude, you don't need all that school, bro. You're clearly smart enough, dude. But like, it's whatever, I guess. And like, that teacher ate ketchup on his. He put ketchup on his Twix, bro. Dog. Never mind, I think you need 10 more years of college only to learn about the human body. Because what is wrong with you to the point where you put ketchup on your Twix, dude? That would make me throw up. That would actually make me throw up. And I eat random stuff. Um, at the movies on October 30th this year. Well, we were all there, and I was like, "Yo, y'all dare me to put ketchup on this?" It was like the chocolate crunch stuff. And they're like, "No." And then I just did it, and then did it with mayo. Called it the crunchy crumb. And then I didn't do a mustard because I'm smart enough to not do that at least. If I put butter on one, and I almost threw up. So yeah, I almost threw up 3 times that night because of the same style thing. And that dude just able to do it with caramel, whatever you want to call it. Like, I guess I don't have that in me. I guess I don't know. It's 35 minutes. I mean, I could end it here, but I got more to talk about. I'm not gonna lie. Like, bro, I'm gonna have a whole like a whole like talk. I don't want to call these episodes because these aren't just like podcast or show or anything. It's just me being bored and talking because I am a talkative person. But like, it's like, dude, I could have a whole episode about sixth grade math and algebra 2, and I could have Anubis for sixth grade math because he had a different NHMR because they had different blocks that they had her on, or HMR had the same one as me, but like I wasn't at school all the time and he could back up these stories I'm telling. But the class of Anubis and they made her have a mental breakdown and she was just crying during class. It was a crazy year, but I have a whole talk about that one day probably. But there is a lot. There is just so much in the last 4 years that's gone down. In my personal life, not much has gone down since fifth grade, really, for me personally. Except for like my mental being horrible because of the stuff that happened before sixth grade and like the last little thing of fifth grade, really. Like obviously, and like I'm talking about like family issues and stuff. None of that happened after that, that I could think of. But school stuff just been crazy since then. And before that, school was crazy too. But like, dude, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually probably gonna end this here because I'm sick. But I will, I will probably do whatever one of these because these are fun. Bye, y'all.